the meeting for, what's today? May 11th. For May 11th, regular session. I will call the meeting to order. And would you all please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Again, welcome all. Thanks for coming. Mr. Zerlo, would you conduct the roll call, please?
Certainly. Mr. Castine.
Present.
Mr. Mazzio is excused this evening. Mr. Hall.
Here.
Mr. Henry.
Here.
Mr. Hughes.
Here.
Mr. Kretzer.
Here.
Mr. Fourier.
Here.
Mr. Potiker.
Here.
Mr. Timmons.
Here.
Ms. Waldron.
Here.
Here.
All legislators received a copy of the stenographer's minutes for the regular meeting for April 27th of 2022. If there are no additions, corrections, deletions, I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes. Motion by legislator Hall, second by legislator Timmons. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you. I will now recognize those in the audience who wish to share their thoughts and concerns with the legislature. Please raise your hand. It's not necessary. If you wish to talk to the legislature, state your name and address for the record, and you will be limited to 5 minutes, I assume. Mark, that you would like to speak to us, Mr. Dodd.
Yes, I would. Sam Dyer, reside at 227.
Yeah, can you get up there?
Yeah, sure. Reside at 227 Duquette Road. The reason I'm here tonight is I'm looking for support. I'm looking for a resolution. I'm sure everybody looked at their tax bill when it came in the mail with the reval. And I understand revals. My father was an assessor in the town of Beacontown for 15 years, okay? I know the difference between an appraisal and an assessment. And I Googled it. And I think that you guys should Google it also, because now we are at the point where our assessments are our appraisals, okay? I've had reval after reval after reval in town. I understand the process, okay? The town and the county do a good job working at lowering the rate. Mr. Zerlo knows I'm all about rates, okay? Our assessments can be a mile high, but if our rates are down, it's not a problem, okay? But the school systems and the fire departments do not work by the same rules, okay? And I've seen too many changes too fast, okay? I've got some figures for mine, and anybody can look at them, okay? In the last 3 years, my assessment has moved well over $500,000, okay? The tax rate in the town of Beacontown has come down a little bit. The county has come down a little bit. The school system has not come down, and the fire department has not come down, okay? I understand why we are doing what we are doing, but we should not tax people out of their homes, okay? I understand if somebody sells their house for 2 or 3 times what it's assessed for, put the value what it is. That can be done. California worked through this, okay? We do not have to change everybody's assessment because the neighborhood changes by 1 or 2 people, okay? And just because there's 2 farms in Clinton County that are buying land doesn't mean that every farm should have to sell their farm, okay? I'm being very clear tonight and very passionate, okay? I'm doing what I want to do because I enjoy it, okay? But I should not be forced to leave my farm because my taxes are getting unbelievable, okay? And we talk about exemptions. I understand that I have a property tax exemption, but we pay on special districts on every dollar of our assessment. So there is no breakdown, there is no exemption for that. Okay, and I guess what I'm asking is for you guys to have a resolution to send to Albany to help us, okay? I went to the town board in the town of Beacontown a week and a half ago. I've got one of the council members here in support. Mark, I chirp you all the time, and I'm here tonight because there's 10 legislators in this county, and I dump on Mark all the time, okay? I know he's my legislator, but you know what? It's Jimmy Langley, Mark Dane told me, you know, if you're coming here for support, it's not a problem. I'm not looking for any money, I'm looking for support, okay? And something's gotta give, you know, whether it's a personal business or a commercial business or a farm or a house, this is wrong. You know, I've got people that their assessments have moved $100,000 this time around, okay? Something's gotta happen here. I know you can't change it tonight, But I guess I'm looking for some support to Albany, and I know something's gotta happen quick, you know. We're at $6 farm fuel here, you know, I'm not preaching to the choir, you know, this is scary times. You know, I know there's inflation, and, you know, maybe this fall there'll be no tax bill because fuel is so expensive. You know, I can't answer that. A couple people here probably could, but, you know, I guess that's why I'm here, Mark, and I, Bobby, you know, hey, look, you know, I'm preaching to the choir. I mean, we're all paying these bills, but something's got to happen. And just because New York State says so doesn't make it the law. You know, you've got a very good attorney on the side of you, Mark. You know, it's time to start using these people to fight back and say no. You know, even if it doesn't work, just stand up and say no. You know, just because they tell us that they're going to cut some tax rate or some taxes from us, you know, something's got to change. You know, reval after reval after reval. You know, I've got people, I've lived in my house since 1985, okay, and in all these revals, there's been no change. You know, we might have picked a few stones, but there's no buildings. You know, we haven't done anything in the last 3 revals on my farm, other than pay more taxes. And, you know, now I'm in a place where I can be more vocal. I just want you guys to be able to do something. And, you know, Mark, you know, I'll be after you. You know, I didn't call you beforehand, but I want some support, you know, and that's what I'm here for. I'm not looking for any money, I'm just looking for support. And I think that we can tell Albany no. We've got an excellent assemblyman, and I think we can get the ear of the senator. You know, that's how we've got to do it, but it starts right here with you guys, and any support that you could give me, I would appreciate. So, any questions?
I've got a question, but maybe for Dennis. Did I understand you right, that you said the town of Beacontown has done a resolution? Or
No, I said the town of Beacontown has lowered the tax rate.
Okay, but has the town done anything?
Not yet.
Not yet. I talked to them a week and a half ago, and I asked them for support, and one member said they would come, and by the looks of it, I'm glad he did, because I, you know, might be falling on deaf ears here. But
The only thing I'll say, and I 2 questions.
Yep.
Mr. Dyer. Number 1, what is it that you're seeking in the resolution? Number 2, I just want to be clear to everybody. A tax, an increase in an assessed value on your property is not a tax bill.
is not a what?
Tax bill. It's not
No,
a tax bill.
no.
When the town of Beekmantown or Clinton County or Beekmantown Central School levies a property tax, that's the amount of money that those jurisdictions need to raise. Now, you know, the tax rate, you know, is when you're done, when you do pay your property tax bill on the ad valorem millage rate, you know, assessed value times your rate. If assessments go up town-wide, county-wide, school district-wide, in theory, in a vacuum, that tax rate should go down. So on a higher assessed value, you'll be paying on a lower rate. Now, I'm not saying that in every case that means lower taxes. Don't take me for, but I wanted, the thing that, in my humble opinion, that people should be advocating for is to their municipalities keeping their tax levies as close to the previous year as they possibly can. That would assist in the problem.
That's what I started with, Mike. I said there's 2 entities, there's 4 that create these tax bills. The school hasn't lowered their rate. The fire departments aren't lowering their rates, okay? So if my assessment moves $500,000, what happens to my taxes?
Well, the Beekmantown School's rate will go down next year. The counties will plummet next year. The town of Beekmantown, because the assessed value in all of Beekmantown, all of the town of Beekmantown, I don't know the numbers, but several millions of dollars increase in your town-wide assessed value.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, if the town of Beekmantown kept their tax levy stable, the tax rate should go down considerably.
Apparently you're not hearing what I'm saying. Sure, that is how that, anytime.
Mind if I say something?
Oh.
Dennis relation, Dennis in the town of Beacontown. Along those lines, I understand with the home prices,
and you have hundreds of sales, maybe 1,000 sales. Land, farmland, you're only talking 2 buyers in Clinton County, or just about. Now you're basing everybody in the counties, farms, at these prices, when there's only 2 buyers.
Well, is that what you're asking, Sam?
What I'm saying is, okay, if you break it down, the town, Beekman Town and the county have lowered the tax rate as the assessment's gone up. The school and the fire department have not, okay? That's what I'm saying.
But they don't do anything with the tax rate. The only thing they control is their tax levies.
Okay, let me explain something to you.
so-
My assessment moves $500,000, okay? My taxes went up thousands of dollars that year, okay? If I'm paying $30 a thousand for everything, okay, my assessment's $300,000, and my assessment goes to $700,000, I'm still paying $30.
There'll be an increase in your
Yes,
taxes.
correct. That's the point I'm making, okay? And what I'm saying is, as these assessments are moving up, the tax levy and the tax rates are not moving down with all the entities. The county is and the town is, okay? I'm not saying they're not, okay? But the fire departments and the schools are not.
So how can the legislature affect what the school and the fire departments are doing?
Well, you are telling us that everybody has to move up with this assessment change when my neighbor's house sells, okay? I didn't sell my house. If somebody wants to sell their house, move their assessment, but don't move everybody in Clinton County or everybody in the town because of those sales, is all I'm saying. Because of assessment.
Okay, but on the other side of that,
Yep.
let's say that if everybody's assessment did not go up, they don't go up at all, they stayed right where they're at. But using your example, the schools and the fire departments, budget goes up, they're just gonna increase your tax rate. So your taxes still go up.
If Mark, I don't mind my taxes going up $1,500 or $1,000 a year, okay? But when they're moving at $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, and $6,000, I have a problem.
Okay.
See, I think you got a particular problem, especially with the farmlands.
Yes.
Number one, there's 2 big buyers paying big money for farmland, okay? There's 3 farms in Eaton Town
Yeah, that are milking cows.
that are milking cow.
Yeah.
They didn't go out of business because they're making tons of money. This is a special issue. Those 2 farms are not gonna buy 40 acres and half of it tillable. They wanted the big farms. Now, those sales are being used all over the county. Ellenburg, I was director of facilities in Ellenburg. There's a bunch of farms in Ellenburg. How can they afford to, at these prices, to pay their taxes and keep in business? I understand if they have a few windmills, yeah, there's a nice extra income. Don't we want family farms anymore? With the COVID especially, when we all found out that half your medicine is made overseas, now we want just corporate farms? Who's backing the corporate farms? I heard there's gonna be 48 million spent in Franklin County on one farm. There's investors in there. Do we want everybody out of business? This is how this county started.
And I wanna be, thank God for Adirondack Farms and True Poultry. I'm not picking on them, okay?
No, the good businessmen, and
but-
I don't blame them one bit.
But I've got farms on both sides of Route 22, and there's a big discrepancy. I mean, if you say on the right side of Route 22, it's the best farmland in the county, you get on the other side, you've gotta get a rock crusher, you know? It's not the same soil.
And I understand saying they went out of dairy, but beef is important too. What if we have a problem where the big corporations shut down because
And that's
of
what's
painted
happening.
meat or whatever? Where do you get your products?
So
If there's only 2 or 3 in the whole county?
the assessors in the towns are the ones that are carrying it out. They're the ones that are actually boots on the ground that are doing that. So what's the town of Beekman Town's position on this? I mean, are you talking about a resolution, or what is it you're doing exactly?
Well, Sam asked me to come here to at least address, or at least talk about the issue. I'm not saying you got an magic wand, I'm not saying there's an answer here tonight. But we gotta start somewhere. This is
But are
a
you
problem.
are you starting at the town level? Are you talking about at the town level? What is the,
I will be.
what are the town, you're going to be?
Well,
You don't have a resolution or anything talked, you haven't spoken?
Not
about
yet,
that.
but I think this is not just Beacon's problem.
no, and Mark.
I think this is a countywide problem.
Well, and if there's a tax cap, there's a tax cap, okay? And you guys work underneath the tax cap. But Albany's not working underneath the tax cap, because when these assessments move up, let's face it, that tax cap isn't the same. I mean, if 2% a year, I would not be
No,
here.
no, Mr. Dyer, I'm just, I, sometimes, when rates go up, taxes go up. You're 100% right. Tax cap is on the tax levy.
Yes.
Tax levy.
Yes.
Tax levy, not the tax rate. The tax levy is what we control for the county and Mr. Relation controls for
I
the town.
understand.
That's what the tax cap is based on, not the tax rate.
Yep.
The tax rate is a product of the tax levy divided by the taxable assessed value in a municipality.
Yep.
So, I mean,
Well,
I'm sorry, Mark, I just,
No,
we as a body, I understand, I understand, but I want you to know that the solution is tax levy staying stable.
Yes, I understand that, yes, and that's why I'm here. Like, you know, I learned a lot from him, and I didn't feel it was fair to dump on Mark all the time, you know?
We all do it.
I know, and I probably do it more than you guys, you know, but, you know, it's, and I think the conversation is good to start, because, you know, it's grassroots, but just because somebody says something, you know, let's face it, you know, I don't wanna push people out of their homes, and I don't think I should be taxed off my farm, you know, I'm doing what I wanna do, because I wanna do it. You know, this is, you know, and I'm so sick of hearing, well, because of the exemption, well, you know what, that exemption isn't cut the mustard. So, that's why we're here.
I mean, I don't know what you're hearing in your own towns, but I know I'm hearing it in Beacon Town. And I still think the farmland, especially with two buyers, driving the price up. And that's what the whole county.
That's a little bit of a different topic.
To me it is,
Yeah.
because now we're talking about,
But that's where your numbers are coming from, though, and that's, you know, that's it.
But I just wanna say one more thing, and I'll shut up. If, what Mr. Henry said was, if assessments never went up, but tax levies remain or go up, the tax rate will increase. So you'll be paying a much higher tax rate on a lower assessed value, and you'd probably still pay the same amount of property tax.
Well, it does sound like you might want to go to your town, schools, boards meeting
Yes,
to get this over to them if they're the ones who
and I think
raise
that-
that are staying levy and.
But I also understand what the law says, that annual reassessments take place. It's a convoluted formula. If you hit certain thresholds, you're deemed to meet be at 100%. Well, you do that for 3 years, and all of a sudden the gap, when you don't make the cut, the gap is 10 or 15%. That's when you see the massive swing in assessment.
But we've had 3 revals in 5 years in Uniontown.
It's an annual rebound.
Yeah.
It's an annual rebound.
And we've seen houses go from 300,000 to 700,000 that haven't sold. It's the same person living in the house.
But what it sell for?
Do me a favor, Google appraisal and assessment, and that's what we're talking about here. We're talking about assessments, or we're talking about appraisals, okay? And an assessment is to base the taxes on. The appraisal is for the sale, and that should lag behind. That shouldn't be right there in the front. Siri will tell you, okay?
that's my take
Yeah.
on it.
So,
I think, especially with the farms, you're starting to push people out. And I don't think we wanna lose all our small farmers in the communities. And I don't think we want just 2 or 3 corporate farms in all of Clinton County and that's it. I think we need some smaller people. If something happens seriously, like we just saw with COVID,
yeah.
gotta depend on medicine from China, because we don't make it here. Well, what if there's only two corporations and they're Chinese, and they ship it overseas? How do you feed your people? How do you feed your communities? Maybe we can, we're in the North Country, we've got open lands that people still have, but maybe not for much longer. If they, you know, they gotta be able to afford to keep it. And with some of the prices that are paying for farmland, especially when 90% of the people have land, which could be a farm, or is a farm, we don't intend on selling it, but yet, they're gonna get pushed out, they're gonna have to sell. Who do they sell to? Those two corporate farms may not buy. They may not buy 40 acres, they probably want 300 acres or 500 acres, may not want 40 acres that's assessed the same as the big farm. That's the problem. I think, like I said, there's 3 left in Beacontown that are milking cows.
All right, well, I think,
And I don't wanna belabor this.
no.
I know you don't have a magic bullet,
I think,
but there's gotta be a conversation started somewhere.
well, I don't think anybody's opposed to that, but I think that one of the best things you can do is the towns have a lot to say about these things. And I think if something is going to be done, any resolution or anything that would come out, that to be effective, is gonna have to include the towns. I will be looking forward to see what the town of Beacontown and the towns of Shazy do, just speaking for my areas.
Right, I understand that.
I mean,
I'm
those
not here-
arguments that are being here tonight are probably more valid, even more valid, I should say.
And
At
I'm
the
not
town
here,
level than the
I'm
are.
not here to beat up on anybody, I'm
No.
just here to brainstorm a little bit, and just to recognize that this is a problem.
The only thing, and I'll let it go with this, is depending on where you're at on revals, whether you're 80%, 90%, 100%, 75%, 60%, wherever you're at, that will, if you're not at a high level of reval, that will affect the amount of sales tax that you get.
I understand.
So if you're down here, then your share of sales tax is not what it should be. So therefore, you've got to make that gap up. The school or the fire department or whoever has to make that gap up because you're not getting the sales tax, just because you're not plugged into that formula.
Schools don't get sales tax. This is not,
Yeah.
so just the
No, but
towns.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that's right, just goes to the town.
I do understand that.
Okay.
Everything's capped, but I wish they would have some sort of cap to work with these.
One question, we're moving on.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
We got time for one more. Did you have something?
Well, just that, pointing out that, if all things are equal, if I went up 10%, you went up 10%, then, as Mike says, we'd all be floating in that same boat. But if farm property goes up 20% and I go up 10%, then all of a sudden your burden is higher. Now, as far as the schools are going, I know Northeastern's budget is out, and they sent a follow-up information sheet that they're going up 1 point whatever, they're in their tax cap. The assessed, the amount we were paying last year for taxes was 20.47 off the top of my head. If the assessments hold up, the amount we're paying per thousand will go down to $17 or something. So schools will adjust this, and schools, let's face it, the only budget we can actually vote on. But I know Northeastern was smart, they put, here's our budget, here's our contingency budget, it's the same thing, so. But, and I know we're looking for full value assessments here. And again, looking at Northeastern Clinton, mowers per thousand, they're gonna be paying higher because they weren't at full value last year. So
Yeah.
we have the problem of, we're looking to get everything at full value, and if we don't do that, then you've got all kinds of other cans of worms you're opening up. So I would suggest going to the ones that you can, towns are gonna, county's gonna go by what we need to spend and not what assessments are. Towns are gonna do the same, villages or whatever. But the fire departments, EMS, I'd suggest going to them and say, don't look to this for a windfall. Keep your things the same, but I would address them personally and go to them, and they're all taxpayers, so I'm sure they would sympathize.
Once again, Calvin, I agree. I understand how the whole process works. When you're basing it on hundreds and thousands of sales in the county, that's what, but when there's two farms, that's a special problem. Not everybody's gonna sell their farm to Adirondack or Journals. And I'm not picking on either one, they're good business people and they're nice people, but that's a special problem in our area. We've got some beautiful land and I'm afraid we won't have it that much longer. It'll be 2 or 3 parties that own it all.
Yeah, that's what the problem is, if, like I said, if I'm going up 10 and they're going up 20, then you do have that problem. And
The only other, I do have an unrelated question regarding to the agenda that I was looking at. I saw that the tobacco money, you're gonna have to pass a resolution or whatever to give some of the money out to different organizations, $4,000 grants, I think, each one. Is there a deadline for that?
Yeah, that was, so we do it annually.
So, whatever.
Next year.
So that's it?
That's it for this year.
For the year.
Yeah, it was,
I don't know if the entities knew about it, but.
yeah, it was
See,
well advertised.
Yeah.
And that's, we received
Probably 10
well more than we had the money for. Yeah.
So like a
So,
lottery, that's opened up all the.
but it's available again next year,
I
Dennis.
did see that.
Yeah.
Some communities.
In the, when, you know, so, every spring.
So you get the applications in probably by March.
They're online, yeah. They're
Yeah,
online.
they gotta be by the 1st of March or something, don't they?
usually,
April.
April.
I just thought it was odd that some communities got 2 and 3, and some got 0. Yeah, I don't know. if
We based,
I don't even know.
the legislature based the decisions on the proposals that were submitted.
I just want to say thank you guys. This is why, you know, like I said, I'm not looking for any money, I'm just looking for support, so.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. No one else? No one else? No one else. All right.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, Sam.
Committee reports. I'll now call on the chairperson of each committee in alphabetical order. By committee, starting with buildings and grounds. And Legislator Pizzaio was excused. Do you have that?
Yes, sir. On behalf of Legislator Pizzaio, the Buildings and Grounds Committee, scheduled for Monday, May 9th, was canceled. However, the committee is pulled on Resolution 315, which is on tonight's agenda. Next Buildings and Grounds Committee meeting is scheduled for Monday, June 13 at 4:30 p.m.
Thank you very much. Children and Family Services and Legislator Potiker.
Chairman, the Children and Family Services Committee scheduled for Tuesday, May 3rd was canceled. The committee was polled on resolutions 316 through 318 on this evening's agenda. The next Children and Family Services Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Tuesday, June 7th at 5:15 p.m. End of report.
Thank you, sir. Economic Development County Operations with Legislator Waldron.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the Economic Development and County Operations Committee met earlier. Glenn Cutter, the planning director, was present to discuss a letter sent to the Federal Emergency Management Agency regarding the floodplain mapping concerns. Mr. Cutter also presented 2 resolutions, including authorizing application for hazard mitigation grant program funding through the New York State Department of Homeland Security and Emergency Services, and authorizing contract extension with Housing Assistance Program of Essex County Incorporated. Resolutions 319 through 321 have been placed on the agenda upon the committee's recommendation. The next Economic Development and County Operations Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Wednesday, June 8th at 4 p.m. End of report.
Thank you, ma'am. Finance Committee and Legislator Timmons.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the Finance Committee met on Wednesday, May 4th. Millie Davis, the county treasurer, was present to discuss the resolution authorizing the county treasurer to appropriate American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA, of 2021 funds to various accounts. Ms. Davis also reported on the 2022 sales tax chart, occupancy tax, interim foreclosure, and the correction of errors report. The legislature also reviewed the 2022 tobacco settlement funding request, and the corresponding resolution is on tonight's agenda. Resolutions 322 through 324 have been placed on the agenda upon the committee's recommendation. The next Finance Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Wednesday, June 15th at 5:15 p.m. And the report.
Thank you, sir. Health Committee and Legislator Hughes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Health Committee met on Wednesday, May 4th. Jeff Sisson, the newly hired Health Director, excuse me, and Deborah Tackett, the Director of Healthcare Services, were present to discuss 3 resolutions, including authorizing contract amendment with Simquest Group, and authorizing payment of membership dues, and authorizing contract with Wells Fargo Financial Leasing. Mr. Sisson and Ms. Tackett also reviewed the Health Department report for April 2022, the grant quarterly report for the first quarter of 2022, the Public Health Connection newsletter for April 2022, and Food Action Plan and the Spring Safety Guide for 2022. Resolutions 325 through 327 have been placed on this evening's agenda. The next Health Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Wednesday, June 15th at 4:15. And the report.
Thank you very much. Human Services, Legislator Perrier.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Human Services Committee meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, May 3rd, was canceled. Committee was polled on resolutions 328 and 329 is on the agenda. The next Human Services Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Tuesday, June 7th at 4:15. End of report.
Thank you, sir. Personnel Committee, I will take care of that. Personnel Committee met on Monday, May 2nd. Resolutions numbers 330 through 350 have been placed on the agenda upon the committee's recommendation. The committee was also polled on resolution 351, and the next Personnel Committee meeting is scheduled for Monday, June 6th at 5 p.m. Plattsburgh International Airport, Legislator Ball.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Plattsburgh International Airport Committee has not met since the last regular session. The U.S. Department of Transportation has approved applications to continue essential air service at Plattsburgh International through the alternate essential air service program, securing non-stop round-trip flights to Philadelphia International Airport via Contour Airlines. The goal of Plattsburgh International's application was always to ensure uninterrupted services and a smooth transition from SkyWest to Contour. The next Plattsburgh International Airport Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Wednesday, May 25th at 4 p.m. End of report. We have been getting a lot of calls, Chris and myself, about when this is going to take place. It's scheduled for July 1st. Could be before that. The people that have flights to Washington in June, as of right now, are still on. They'll be notified ahead of time, and when the flight to Washington stops, the other one to Philadelphia will take place the same day.
Thank you.
End of report.
Thank you very much. Public Safety Committee, Legislator Casta.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. The Public Safety Committee met on Monday, May 2nd. David Marcoux, the Probation Director, was present to discuss the resolution authorizing contract with New York State Division of Criminal Justice Services 2022-2023, probation, state aid, block grant funding, and program plan. Jamie Rock, the Administrative Assistant at Child Advocacy Center, was present to discuss several resolutions, including authorizing Adirondack Foundation grant acceptance, authorizing Sunrise Rotary Club of Plattsburgh grant application and acceptance, authorizing Autism Alliance of Northeastern New York grant application and acceptance. Resolutions 352 through 359 have been placed on the agenda as a result of the committee's recommendations. The next Public Safety Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Monday, June 6th at 4 p.m. End of report.
Thank you, sir. Transportation Committee and Legislator Cratzer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Transportation Committee met on Monday, May 9th. Carl Weiss, the Highway Superintendent, was present to discuss several resolutions, including awarding bid for cold milling of pavement of various roads, awarding bid of herbicide application for vegetation control, awarding bid for one new self-drive work platform, and awarding bid for full-depth reclamation of pavement on various roads. Resolutions 360 through 364 have been placed on the agenda as a result of the committee's recommendation. Resolution 372 has also been placed on the agenda under Waive Rule 13.2. The next Transportation Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Monday, June 13th at 5 5:15 p.m. And that's the end of the report.
Thank you very much, sir. Now we'll proceed to the liaison reports and the Board of Health, Legislator Potiker.
No report.
Chamber of Commerce, Legislator Potiker.
The Board of Health, the Board of Health meeting is scheduled for 5/16 at 7 p.m. No report on that, on the chamber.
Community Service Board, Mr. Castine, sir.
No report, sir.
Thank you. Cooperative Extension, Legislator Timmons.
We meet next Tuesday, the 17th.
Right. Intercounty, Legislator Walden.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, Franklin County hosted the inter-county meeting of the Adirondacks on Thursday, April 28th. Donna Cassane, the Franklin County manager, gave a presentation on the First Amendment and the First Amendment audit recently conducted at their county building. Sean Gilliland, the Essex County supervisor, and Carly Summers of Cornell Cooperative Extension also gave a presentation on the Adirondack Harvest Program. The inter-county meeting being held on May 26th has been canceled due to the Memorial Day holiday weekend.
Thank you, ma'am. LCLG, Regional Planning Board, Legislator Hughes Kretzer.
No report.
Thank you. Soil and Water, Legislator Spring Timmons.
Yes, we meet next Thursday, 19th, but I did have Aaron include a sheet. This is what the summer looks like for soil and water, some of the things that we have going on. Figure with that extensive amount, it was easier just to put it down on paper for you guys to look at. And to report.
You have a question? Have a question?
Work.
No.
I missed.
I'm
sorry, go
We
ahead.
have dates for the two scrap tire recycling? Says two have been scheduled, but
Yes, I don't know if he has the dates. He does know the towns, but offhand I do not know them. I want to say one is up in the northern tier though.
you could find out the date.
Yes, when it gets closer, I'll certainly bring that. We'll probably find out probably next Thursday.
Thank you.
Yep.
Anything further on that? Okay, Workforce Development Board, Legislator Kretzer.
No report.
All righty. Staff member reports, Ms. Kelleher.
No report.
And Mr. Zerlo.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to request an executive session at the
Okay.
business to discuss sale and use of real property, as well as the personnel history of some particular county employees.
All right, chairperson's report. Just a reminder, you have the handout on the name and logo for the former airport for you to consider at the next meeting, the 25th, upcoming meeting, 2 weeks from tonight, 25th. I'll be asking for, I guess, a final decision on that. So, a couple weeks. And resolutions. Before voting on resolutions, I want to note that the majority of the resolutions have been thoroughly discussed by the appropriate committee, and the legislature is taking action tonight based primarily on the recommendations of the committees. Mr. Zerlo, would you please read the titles of the resolutions
Certainly.
to be acted about?
Resolution number 315, authorizing contract amendment with KAS Incorporated Buildings and Grounds.
Motion, Legislator Timmons, second, Legislator Walden. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution number 316, authorizing supervision and treatment services for juveniles, plan funds, application and acceptance, social services.
Motion, Legislator Potiker, second, Legislator Kretzer. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution number 317, authorizing contract with Youth Advocate Program Social Services.
Motion, Legislator Potiker, second, Legislator Perrier. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution number 318, authorizing Youth Bureau to file application for state aid for youth development program allocations and authorizing various contracts. Youth Bureau.
Motion, Legislator Potiker, second, Legislator Kretzer. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution number 319, opposing conservation subdivision design bill, Senate Bill 1145 and Assembly Bill number 4074.
5-4 on that, who was it?
Ms. Waldron?
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
5-4, Ms. Waldron? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 320, authorizing contract extension with the Housing Assistance Program of Essex County Planning Department.
Motion, legislator Waldron, second, legislator Castine. Discussion? Roll call.
Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Walter?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution number 321, authorizing application for hazard mitigation grant program funding through the New York State Department of Homeland Security and Emergency Services, Planning Department.
Motion, legislator Waldron, second, legislator Boddicker. Discussion? Roll call.
Ms. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Walter?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution number 322, authorizing the county treasurer to appropriate American Rescue Plan Act of 2021 funds to various accounts, treasurer's office.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Hall. Discussion? Roll call.
Ms. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Walter?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 323, authorizing contract with Barton and Judas DPC relative to the Clinton County landfill site characterization investigation work plan, solid waste.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Boddicker. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Walter?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution number 324, authorizing the county treasurer to appropriate and transfer funding from the tobacco reserve for 2022 projects, treasurer's office.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Hall. Abstention, legislator Kretzer. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
One abstention, Mr. Kretzer. Resolution number 325, authorizing contract amendment with SimQuest Group Incorporated, Health Department.
Motion, legislator Hughes, second, legislator Castine. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution number 326, authorizing contract with Wells Fargo Financial Leasing, Health Department.
Motion, legislator Hughes, second, legislator Waldron. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Resolution number 327, authorizing payment of membership dues, Health Department.
Motion, legislator Hughes, second, legislator Castine. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 328, authorizing out-of-state travel, Office for the Aging.
Motion, legislator Perrier, second, legislator Kretzer. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution number 329, authorizing contract amendment with St. Lawrence County Health Initiative, Office for the Aging.
Motion, legislator Perrier, second, legislator Boddicker. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution number 330, approving backfill the permanent full-time probation assistant position, probation department.
Motion, legislator Henry, second, legislator Castine. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 331, approving backfill of permanent full-time guard position, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, legislator Hall, second, legislator Castine. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 332, approving backfill of permanent full-time account clerk typist, mental health and addiction.
Motion, legislator Kretzer, second, legislator Timmons. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 333, approving backfill of permanent part-time account clerk typist, mental health and addiction.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Castine. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 334, approving backfill of permanent full-time nurses aide position, nursing home.
Motion, legislator Castine, second, legislator Hall. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 335, approving backfill of permanent part-time cook position, nursing home.
Motion, legislator Hall, second, legislator Kretzer. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 336, approving backfill of permanent part-time cook position, nursing home.
Motion, legislator Kretzer, second, legislator Timmons. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 337, approving reclassification of permanent full-time account clerk typist position up to a permanent full-time senior account clerk typist position with backfill, office for the aging.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Castine. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 338, approving backfill of permanent full-time clerk position, social services.
Motion, legislator Castine, second, legislator Hall. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 339, approving backfill of permanent full-time clerk position, social services.
Motion, legislator Hall, second, legislator Kretzer. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 340, approving backfill of permanent full-time family support worker position, social services.
Motion, legislator Kretzer, second, legislator Timmons. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 341, approving reclassification of a permanent full-time social welfare examiner to a permanent full-time senior social welfare examiner, social services.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Castine. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 342, approving backfill of permanent full-time registered professional nurse, Sheriff's Department.
Motion, legislator Castine, yes, legislator Castine. Second, legislator Hall. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 343, approving backfill of permanent full-time correction officer, gender-specific position, Sheriff's Department.
Motion, legislator Hall. Second, legislator Kretzer. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 344, approving backfill of permanent full-time correction officer position, Sheriff's Department.
Motion, legislator Kretzer. Second, legislator Timmons. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 345, approving backfill of permanent full-time correction officer position, Sheriff's Department.
Motion, legislator Timmons. Second, legislator Castine. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 346, approving backfill of permanent full-time correction officer position, Sheriff's Department.
Motion, legislator Castine. Second, legislator Hall. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 347, approving backfill of a permanent full-time correction officer position, Sheriff's Department.
Motion, legislator Hall. Second, legislator Kretzer. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 348, approving backfill of a permanent full-time correction officer position, Sheriff's Department.
Motion, legislator Kretzer. Second, legislator Timmons. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 349, approving backfill of a permanent part-time motor equipment operator 1, solid waste.
Motion, legislator Timmons. Second, legislator Castine. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 350, approving backfill of a permanent full-time senior personnel associate, personnel department.
Motion, legislator Castine. Second, legislator Hall. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 351, authorizing Clinton County to apply for a permit for the use of SUNY Plattsburgh's Yogan Hall for a civil service examination, personnel.
Motion, legislator Hall. Second, legislator Kretzer. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 352, authorizing contract with the New York State Division of Criminal Justice Services 2022-2023 probation state aid block grant funding and program plan probation.
Motion, legislator Castine. Second, legislator Hall. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Walter?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution number 353, authorizing contract with Thompson Reuters, signed council.
Motion, legislator Castine. Second, legislator Hughes. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Walter?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 354, authorizing Adirondack Foundation grant acceptance, District Attorney's Office Child Advocacy Center.
Motion, legislator Castine. Second, legislator Perrier. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Walter?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 355, authorizing Sunrise Rotary Club of Plattsburgh, New York Incorporated, grant application and acceptance, District Attorney's Office Child Advocacy Center.
Motion, legislator Castine, second, legislator Hall. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 356, authorizing Autism Alliance of Northeastern New York Incorporated grant application and acceptance. District Attorney's Office Child Advocacy Center.
Motion, legislator Castine, second, legislator Hughes. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 357, authorizing contract with Essex County District Attorney, with Essex County District Attorney's Office Child Advocacy Center.
Motion, legislator Castine, second, legislator Perrier. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Resolution number 358, authorizing contract with High Peaks Resort, District Attorney's Office Child Advocacy Center.
Motion, legislator Castine, second, legislator Hughes. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Resolution 359, authorizing ongoing contract with New York State Prosecutors Training Institute, District Attorney's Office.
Motion, legislator Castine, second, legislator Perrier. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Resolution 360, awarding bid for cold milling of pavement on various roads, Highway Department.
Motion, legislator Kretzer, second, legislator Potiker. Discussion. Roll call. All in favor? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 361, awarding bid for herbicide application for vegetation control, Highway Department.
Motion, legislator Kretzer, second, legislator Hughes. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 362, awarding bid for one new self-drive work platform, Highway Department.
Motion, legislator Kretzer, second, legislator Potiker. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Resolution number 363, awarding bid for full depth reclamation of pavement on various roads, Highway.
Motion, legislator Kretzer, second, legislator Hughes. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 364, awarding bids for tree removal services for the years 2022 and 2023, Highway Department.
Motion, legislator Kretzer, second, legislator Potiker. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 365, authorizing the county treasurer to increase appropriation and corresponding revenue for the Wellness in Nutrition Program, Office for the Aged.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Perrier. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution number 366, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation and corresponding revenue for the 2020 statewide interoperable communications grant emergency services.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Castine. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution number 367, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation and corresponding revenue for the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act grant employment and training.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Hughes. Abstention, legislator Kretzer. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Carried.
One abstention, Mr. Kretzer. Resolution 368, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation and corresponding revenue for the Healthy Neighborhoods Program grant health department.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Hughes. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution number 369, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation and corresponding revenue for the Home Energy Assistance Program, Social Services.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Potiker. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms.
Yes.
Waldron?
Carried.
Resolution number 370, authorizing the county treasurer to reappropriate 2021 funds, various accounts, treasurer's office.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Potiker. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution number 371, commemorating the 102nd anniversary of the Rouse's Point American Legion Post 912, Legislature.
5-4, Mr. Castine.
Yes, sir, then a comment.
5-4. Any discussion?
Yes.
All?
Everybody's probably wondering why 102nd, they've been waiting 2 years to celebrate their 100th. Because of the COVID, they haven't been able to do this. So their 100th was 2 years ago, they haven't been able to do this. And the amazing thing is, if you look at this resolution, September 16th, Congress chartered the Legion. 9 months later, we're at post 9/12 being chartered. I can't imagine how quick post 20 was to be on that list. It's just amazing. So these veterans are celebrating their 102nd, but this is really to help them commemorate their 100th, which was 2 years ago. So that's up there.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Is that it? Yep. I'd like to entertain a motion to waive Rule 13.2. May I have a motion? Legislator Hall, second. Legislator Waldron. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number three.
Go ahead.
Resolution number 372, authorizing contract amendment with Pasanello Fuels Highway.
Motion, Legislator Kretzer, second. Legislator Potaker. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yeah.
Ms. Waldron?
Yes.
No, we gotta do it. We need to go in executive session before we do any of this.
Oh, yeah, no, that, I'm making sure we don't have anything else. That's it, right? Okay.
Not another 24
You vote on that?
Which one, sir?
The resolution itself.
Which one?
Yes.
Yes, we did.
Okay, carried. All right, executive session is next. If we have nothing further to come before the legislature, I would entertain a motion to enter into executive session. May I have a motion? Legislator Timmons, motion. Second, Legislator Perrier, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. We are in executive session. We'll be shortly.
6:12 p.m. 19 p.m. Mr. Chairman, we have 3 items remaining to go over. Resolution 374, Resolution 375, and,
I don't want 375.
look at that, right there.
Yeah, I know.
And I have it, I'm handing it out to you. 374, 375, and 373, 73, 74, 375. The last resolution, 375, is a resolution that was passed out of economic development. It is a nondescript resolution. We have a contract, as you recall, with AEDA to facilitate the planning and zoning process in the town of Plattsburgh for the development of the old airport site. And they sent an invoice in today. And you'd be happy to know that your auditing staff said we couldn't pay it because the term of the contract had expired. So the money does not change. There's still plenty of money in these accounts. It simply extends the term of the contract until the project is done, so we can pay. We're not increasing any of the amounts. So, am I okay to read the title?
Yes, 373, go ahead.
Resolution 373, approving home rule request for the New York State Senate Bill 9026 and Assembly Bill 10218.
Motion, Legislator Hall, second, Legislator Timmons. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 374, approving home rule request for the New York State Senate Bill 9141 and Assembly Bill 10231.
Motion, Legislator Castine, second, Legislator Hall. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
And finally, resolution number 375, authorizing contract amendment with Architectural and Engineering Design Associates, Legislature.
Motion, Legislator Waldron, second, Legislator Potaker. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Anything further come before the legislature?
One quick question, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Zerlo, when are we getting our iPads?
I can give them to you at any time. The only thing is, Obviously, these machines are certainly usable as PCs to do your county work. We will need a training on them once we go the move towards paperless and everything when that happens. So I can give you them tomorrow morning. And it's simply at this point, it's a laptop with software on it that you could use for your legislative duties. Absolutely.
Anything further?
Matter of fact, I'll distribute them Thursday and Friday of this week.
Should we leave them here?
No, those are no, but when we go live, I'm literally begging you to bring them with you.
I gotcha. No, I just wanted to.
It's not like we can make another, laptop and put it on your desk. So yes, that is for your use as a county legislator.
Motion to adjourn. Motion by legislator Kratzer, second by legislator Hughes. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. We are adjourned. Good job.